Chiefs go out and they blow the 49ers out at home 44-23. Now, are the 49ers kind of like in that flake situation where they started off hot, now they're getting into that cold part, or are the Chiefs just that good?
I got to talk about the Chiefs here first because I think the Chiefs really deserve a lot of credit for what they did to the 49ers. When it came to this game specifically, I picked the 49ers to win this game just because the 49ers got embarrassed last week by the Falcons. And I was in the mindset that the Falcons were an inferior team compared to the 49ers going into that game. But the Falcons just gave it to them. And I thought that the 49ers would be able to effectively bounce back using last week's loss as motivation to bounce back to get to a 4-3 record. That didn't happen here. Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs offense they lit it up. There's no other way to say it. The 49ers had one of the best defenses going into this week, right alongside the Bills. You could say that the 49ers essentially had a top 5 defense going into this game. And Patrick Mahomes made them look like one of the worst defenses that you'll see in the NFL. He put up over 420 yards passing, had 3 touchdowns, granted had the 1 interception, but outside of that first half performance, man, the Chiefs were just running and gunning in that second half, because when we look back to the first half, it was 14-13 at halftime, and then the Chiefs just put the pedal to the metal in the second half. They made some great second half adjustments, and I thought the 49ers had zero answer for the Chiefs. And mind you, this was a Super Bowl rematch of Super Bowl 54, and there's still a lot of players that are on this roster with the 49ers from that Super Bowl team just a couple years ago. And I thought they would have set them to the occasion. That did not happen here. Man, the Chiefs just looked at this game and they just executed it essentially to perfection in the second half. That first half was a little bit of a struggle for them. But what they did in the third and fourth quarter, I mean, they outscored the 49ers 30-10 in the second half. I mean, it was an absolute runaway of a game by the end of it. When you win by 21 points, you win by 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's a laugher at that point. And just to kind of round it back to the Chiefs here, man, you got to say it at this point. Patrick Mahomes is definitely at that top of the MVP leaderboard. He had the one bad game against the Bills last week that probably went against him. But man, when you follow it up for throwing 420 yards plus, you throw 3 touchdowns, you beat one of the best defenses in the NFL on the road, and get a bounce back win after that tough loss to Buffalo last week. That's what the Chiefs needed. And I'll just going to kind of phrase it as this. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, man, at this point, I got to know better than to pick against him or bet against him. I picked the 49ers to win this game, like I said earlier, but I should have known better. Pat's just that dude. And when it comes to Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy Garoppolo, it's a night and day difference. I thought that the 49ers defense would have gave them a little bit of a challenge, but they got ran through. There's no other way to put it. I mean, the Chiefs are sitting at a 5-2 record. They're at the top of the AFC West. They really look like a team, and despite the fact that they lost Tyreek Hill this past offseason and Demarcus Robinson as well, they just continue to hum on all cylinders. When it comes to the targets, Juju had a great day. I thought Marcus Valdes-Scantling had a solid day. Travis Kelce was effective as well. And man, just when it comes to the Chiefs, they just know how to do it. And they just continue to just run right through these teams by putting up at least 30 to 35 points. And in this case, they put up almost 45. So to do that against one of the best teams, or I guess one of the best defenses in the league, to be more specific, good on KC. They definitely deserve that win. And as far as the 49ers, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Losing 2 straight games. This one I could kind of give them a pass for, because, you lose to Patrick. It's not necessarily the worst thing to be ashamed about. But, a couple of weeks ago, we were sitting thinking that the 49ers were really going to go on a big stretch here, because Jimmy G, that offense with the 49ers, they were humming on all cylinders, but they've kind of come back down to earth. And we'll see how they're able to integrate Christian McCaffrey now that he's in the fold with the 49ers. But yeah, they're definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board after this one, because sitting at a 3-4 record 7 weeks into the season, it's not a good look on their part. But I'm just super impressed with what KC has done. They've had some turnover this past offseason, but they didn't let it affect them. They're flying on all cylinders, and Kev, they look like a team to beat, or they look like the team to beat, I should say.
The Chiefs, What can you say, man? They have a hiccup game against the Colts. They have a very tough loss against the Bills. You go into this game probably frustrated. You go into this game and you say, you know what? I need people to stop talking about Buffalo like they are better than us. It came down to a mistake that Pat made late in the game, just like he did against the Colts. One mistake, one bad throw. And the Chiefs are still they're still that team, man. I'm not saying they're the best team in the league by any means, but I mean they're definitely top 3 for a reason. Patrick Mahomes is leading the MVP conversation and it's not close. But let me pivot over here to the 49ers. For those of you that continue to say that Jimmy is bad, Jimmy Garoppolo was sacked 5 times. Jimmy Garoppolo also had 300 yards in the air. Jimmy Garoppolo also had 2 touchdown passes. So once again, I understand that he is not the flashiest of players. I understand that he is not the greatest I understand he's not the greatest quarterback in the world, but when you have zero pass protection and you completely have to rely on your escapability when you're not exactly the most mobile quarterback, for the record, he was also hit 8 times. He was also strip sacked at one point as well. So you have to realize it comes with the territory when you don't have protection. When you don't have the capability to keep your quarterback upright, when you don't have the capability to keep your quarterback healthy, this is what happens. He's not able to get them down the field. They're playing catch up pretty much the majority of the second half, if not the entire second half, because if you look at it, it was 14-13 at halftime. There was no reason for them to lose this, and then San Francisco's defense just gets rolled up on, and then Patrick Mahomes just completely carves them up. Jimmy's playing from behind. He gets sacked a couple of times, and this is what happens. This is the outcome. I'm not going to say San Francisco is done. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance. Again, this is only week 7, but this is not a good look to get blown out by Atlanta and then get blown out by Kansas City. This is just 2 back-to-back really bad losses. The defense is really just not looking as good as they need to be. And then, of course, at the end of the day, I know for a fact injuries are absolutely eating this team alive. Nick Bosa just got back. Trent Williams just got back. I mean, they just got Christian McCaffrey. They really need to figure out what's going to happen here, because I know for a fact that the front office and the head coach, which is Kyle Shanahan, are not at all satisfied with the outcome of this week and last week. San Francisco's got to figure it out.